Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are drawing, as always. So as you guys can see, I'm not starting from an empty page, so I'm just trying to peel the stickers off and stuff to prepare the page. Then again, I could have also not done that because I was just gonna glue something over it anyways. But whenever I start from a page that isn't empty, I just prefer to make it as flat as possible whenever I glue some stuff on or something. Also, whenever I do this, I often get comments like, oh, it was prettier before, or oh, why are you doing this? You're destroying stuff. Okay, it's my sketchbook. I do what I want with it. I don't like this page. I'm gonna cover it up. I just like it when, I'm flipping through my sketchbook. I like it when it feels good. Like, it feels good to look at it. The memories feel good. Like, I don't know if this makes sense, but basically, yeah, I want the stuff that I want in my sketchbook and nothing else. Also, okay, in case anyone's wondering about the paper bag, so I really like the cardboard texture of the paper bags. I really love this paper, and also this particular one. I went to Iceland recently, as some of you guys might know, by the me posting every day about Iceland. Also, I still haven't edited my photos from there, because I did take some of the wildlife and stuff. But basically, they have the store. It's called Bonus, and it's a grocery store. It's really cool. They have this pig that's their mascot, and so the bag is from there. Also, you guys can see I'm trying very hard to get a glue out of there, and sometimes there's just a little bit of glue that's dried, and I can't get it out. And so, this time it's the same. It's always the same. But normally I get it out easily, and yeah, as you guys can see, it's just a big piece of glue. It was crazy how big that piece of glue that was stuck there is. Also, okay, I don't know if this counts as a life hack, but if you have a lot of glue to spread and you don't want to use your hands, I usually use the flat back of the glue tub. I don't know. I don't know how other people do it, because I guess they just cut it out of the video whenever they're gluing something big. But I think it's really practical, because I was already thinking of looking into getting some tools for it, but then I'm like, I can just keep using the tube, because it's when it's empty, I'm throwing it away anyways. I mean, I used to do it with my hands, but and to a certain degree, it's fun to peel off some glue off your hands, but it's just not always very practical. Yes, if you guys can tell me in the comments how you guys glue stuff down, especially big stuff. So I'm sketching right now because my plan was basically to make 2 sketches and put them on a page, on one part of the page, so you can see the pig on the other half. And as you guys can see, I'm not very satisfied with my sketches, so I restarted. And I also always want to keep it in the video when I restart, just because sometimes people have the impression that it's all smooth. It's all I'm sketching something and that's it. Like, my sketch, it works out perfectly fine, but that is not the case. As you guys can see, this is ugly as hell as well. So yeah, so I flipped you guys can see what I'm doing. I flipped the paper, and I decided to go for a more dynamic pose. And so if anyone's wondering what the character is, it's my Everskies avatar. It's as simple as that. Yeah. It was just, I thought it was kind of pretty. I wanted to draw it. So this time I went for a more dynamic pose, which I do like way more, because the other ones were kind of static, and the proportions were weird as well. Because you guys, whenever I'm drawing on paper, I'm looking at my desk, so the paper is at an angle, so sometimes the proportions are a bit skewed. But when I draw digitally, I look at my monitor, which is there's no angle between my eyes and what I see on the monitor. So you know what I mean. It's not distorted at all. But actually, because this sketch looks significantly better than the others. I actually put my gaming chair up a little, and I was looking at my recording software. Also, in case you are wondering, about the leaf that I'm so desperately trying to redo very often because I can't quite get the shape right. It's also part of the like actual avatar like outfit. So I'm not just putting it there as like censorship. It's a part of the actual thing. Cause y'all know I'm not a big fan of like censoring stuff. Also, does anyone else just like really love sketching like fur and stuff, or like curly hair? Just something where you can sketch it, but you don't have to like put tons of thought into it. Like it's kind of intuitive. Okay, you know, this is like a really rare occasion of me actually being satisfied with my own sketches, because normally I tend to like really dislike my sketches. And so my original plan was to sketch some, you know, the usual, the like classic what I do in every video is I sketch something, I erase it, I do line art, and then I erase the sketch completely, then I color it with the alcohol markers, which is what I always do. But the sketches, honestly, I don't know, maybe I'm delusional, but like, it's good, it's pretty, so I decided that I'd actually keep the sketch, and that I'm gonna do watercolors later. So if you guys do watercolors, it's just like a warning that I'm like really bad at watercolors. So I'm like really sorry if you're a watercolor artist, you're watching this and you're like thinking, oh, this is awful. Yeah, so just a warning. Okay, so I'm actually done with the sketch, so I'm just cutting this piece out, and I'm using the rest of the paper from earlier because I did separate it into 2 pieces. And I just want to sketch side by side just so I keep the character looking as similar and as consistent as possible. Also, as you guys are noticing, I'm having just such a hard time sketching the legs. And I'm actually looking up goat references and stuff to get the legs right. I wanted to do a yawning pose, but yeah, this pose kind of sucks a little bit. And I'm actually just gonna do the same thing I did with the last sketch. I'm probably just gonna like start over, because yeah, honestly, a takeaway from this video, and it just in general, for if you guys are artists, that is, it's better to just start over if you're not satisfied. Like, don't worry about wasting your time or something like that. It's usually like 90% of the time starting over is just the way to go, because especially with the first sketch, you guys saw how like bad the first one was, and the second, you know, the third one now, but you get the idea. It's basically redoing it is often way better, especially because the first time, you know, you did certain mistakes, you did things that you were not satisfied with, and you can keep those things that you were not satisfied with in mind to just make an improved version. Like, for example, with the first one, I was sketching, I was just very unsatisfied with the pose, with the stiffness of it, so I was like, you know, let's make it dynamic. And if I was like, well, I've wasted the time sketching now, might as well finish it. I mean, sometimes that's also the way to go, because sometimes you're just redoing it, and you can't get anywhere, so it's better to just make it kind of bad looking, but at least you have something. But I feel like in most cases it's better to just start over, just, you know, think about it, because with this one that I'm redoing right now, it's the framing was odd, the angle of the legs was odd, it was not looking good. Like, if you want to improve your own drawing and you're unsatisfied, just look at what do you hate about it and think about how do you change it. I know that asking others for feedback is often really bad, especially. Oh my god, let me tell you guys about a case I had. So I was showing a drawing, which was basically a fan art of a character, and they just told me the character design is like ugly and that I should change that, because they thought it was just like a random design. Yeah, also, see, now I'm opening the watercolor and it's also stuck like the glue tube was, so today's the day of everything being stuck. And I had no patience, so I just cut it open. Yeah, but back to feedback basically. Oh yeah, sometimes you just get like really bad feedback that makes no sense. So I genuinely okay, no, not to place myself, but I think I give pretty good feedback. So you can always just like text me on Instagram if you want some feedback. But basically, half of the time you're not getting good feedback from others. Rely on yourself. And how I do it is, yeah, I just take a look at what I hate the most, and then I think about what to change it to, because often you just, I mean, sometimes it's not very obvious, but usually it's just you do the opposite of what you disliked. Like for example, with a static pose, I just made a really dynamic pose. Or if you think the colors look, I don't know, like too dull, too desaturated, or you think they don't match well, just, if you think colors don't match well, just, you could try out a pre-made color palette, or you could do in digital art, you could do the trick where you just put a bunch of the same color on a blending mode over your color palette and change it, work with overlays. Or if you think the colors are too desaturated, you could just try using more saturated ones, because usually that works out. Oh yeah, also, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm not very good with watercolors, so don't take whatever I'm doing as an example. I used to be way worse, but I learned that watercolors are not supposed to be very opaque. It's the point of watercolors is to have the stuff that's below shining through, and I did not get that, and I used to layer them on very heavy. Now I'm a bit better on that, and I'm also letting the colors dry between all the layering, because I know if you don't do that, it bleeds a lot. Yeah, honestly, I'm not the best person to learn watercolors from. It. It's valid if you're looking at me and you're just thinking like, put down the brush, girl. Watercolor's not your thing. But I actually think I'm doing like fairly decent. But this is one of the instances where, usually I actually know what I'm doing, but here I'm just like, I have no clue. I'm also doing the drawings side by side just because I want to keep the colors consistent, because I know later if I just do one drawing and then do the next drawing, I'm not gonna remember which colors I used, how I mixed stuff, because I do sometimes mix stuff. And I'm just gonna be very lost, and it's not gonna look, the colors aren't gonna look the same. And I wanted everything in the page to be like beautiful and consistent. Okay, this is some foreshadowing, but as you might be able to tell, nothing in my videos is ever as planned or beautiful and consistent, especially when drawing on paper. Digitally, it's usually very straightforward, it's as expected, but on paper, it's always a challenge, it's always a surprise. Also, I'm at outlining now, and I'm actually using a brush pen, and whenever I use brush pens, I always get some questions about them. So the brush pen I'm using right now is actually not one of the reusable ones, and by reusable ones I just mean the one that you can refill the ink. But I'm using this one because it has an ultra fine tip, and my refillable ones are just a bit thicker, but I think they're good as well. It's just this drawing is a bit smaller and it's a bit more delicate, so I decided to use a thinner one. And it says brush sign pen artist on it, and not much else, honestly. So yeah, it also says the color, which is black, but not that much info. I bought it at the Bösner store. It's just a German art store. It's where I get my watercolors from as well. It's where you get anything art related from. But basically, I usually get questions about outlining with them, and I have to say it's a bit tricky. And I'm actually doing an extraordinarily good job, which is unexpected, because usually whenever I use these, I start at the face and I just completely mess up the first stroke. So they're kind of you have to get used to them, but I can definitely recommend them as an outlining tool, because you can do some interesting line weight stuff. But if you're trying to get into that, I think I definitely look into getting a refillable one, because they you waste the ink fast. Like, they get empty really fast, so just get a refillable one and maybe practice doing lines first. You guys can see what I meant in the beginning. I was planning to just put them on one half of the page, but then I realized that I drew them way too big, so I'd have to actually cover both pages, but that was fine. I mean, you know, you can still see the pig, it's not a big deal. Except there was a bunch of space, so I decided that, you know, I'd need something for that space. And so I decided I'd just do a headshot. Also, by the way, I'm using the paper from the previous sketches, just so you don't think I'm like wasting anything or something like that. No, I'm just like drawing on the back where there's no drawing. Also, I don't know, like today's the day of having to do two sketches, because I don't like this one either. So yeah, I actually tried drawing on the back, but then I realized there's already something on the back, so I just did a different sketch, which ended up looking way better. And I also decided to do the same style of watercolor on it, and you know, surprisingly I could actually remember the colors. So it's good that I did it right away and didn't just... Okay, I mean, you guys know sometimes I leave a sketchbook page like half finished and then I just continued later. But this is one of the instances where it's very good that I wasn't lazy. Okay, maybe I'm only delusional, but I feel like I'm getting way better at watercolors. So I think it's definitely good that I make myself use watercolors, even though I kind of suck at them. Also, one thing that I planned to do as well but didn't do was I have these metallic watercolors. They're so pretty. They have so much glitter in them. They're so glittery. And I was gonna use them as well, but I don't know. I mean, you see it yourself. It was not that fitting to just put glitter in there. So if anyone has any ideas for any occasions where I could use my glitter watercolors, please let me know. I wish I had bought some sort of different paint, because the glitter watercolors aren't that opaque, and I feel like I just do better with opaque paints. And I feel like I could just do maybe a background of a page in glitter if it was more opaque. But if it's not meant to be opaque, it looks kind of weird if I just use too much of it, but I also don't want it to be a little see-through. You know, if I'm doing a background of a page, then again I could try that. Okay, so as you guys can tell, this piece is gonna be a bit more line art heavy, but I feel like that's okay because I went way lighter with the watercolors. But I also feel like you're supposed to go lighter with the watercolors, so I'm not really sure, but I think it's looking pretty fine so far. In general, I'm surprisingly content with this sketchbook spread, because usually, you know, especially when I'm filming for YouTube, I don't know, filming just makes me like nervous, makes me mess up. I turn the camera on, I turn my brain off. It just turns out a bit worse. So yeah, here's me adding it. It's a bit tricky to add it in the middle. But yeah, I decided to also fill the blank space with some stickers, which I had left over from an event. And here's the result. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.